In this video, we are going to learn what actually inner join is in SQL. So basically, inner join is used to combine data from two tables based on a common column. It returns only the matching records from both the tables. That means the values in the common column should be the same in both the tables. And if there is no match, those records will not be included in the result. In simple words, inner join shows only the data that exist in both the tables. For example, if one table contains student details and another table contains their marks, inner join will display only those students who have marks available. So the main idea is it focuses only on matching data and ignores everything else. I'll write 4 points here which are very important so you can understand what an inner join is. First one is it combines data from two tables. Next is it is based on common column. Common column. Next, it returns only matching records. It returns only matching records. And one more important thing, it ignores non-matching data. Non-matching data. Now let's understand the syntax of inner join in detail. First, we start with the select statement. So I write select here. Here we specify the columns that we want to display in the output. We can choose columns from one table or from both the tables. So we are selecting the columns here. Next, we use from keyword and mention the first table. This is the main table from which the query actually starts. After that, we write inner join and mention the second table. Inner join table 2. This tells SQL that we want to combine this second table with the first table. Now comes the most important part, which is on clause. The on keyword is used to specify the condition for joining the two tables. In this condition, we usually compare a column from both the tables. That is a common column. For example, a column like student ID or department ID. So I write here on table 1 dot common column is equal to table 2 dot common column. And always end a query with semicolon. So SQL will check this condition for every row, and only when the values match, those records will be combined and shown in the result. If the values do not match, these records will be ignored. So guys, this is the complete syntax of how to write an inner join in a query. So remember, select is used to choose the columns. From is for first table, inner join is for second table, and on keyword is used to define the matching condition. Now let's understand how inner join actually works using a simple example tables. Assume we have two tables. The first table is students, which contains ID and name. The second table is marks, which contains ID and marks. Here, student ID is the common column between these two tables. Now, when we apply inner join on these two tables using this ID column, SQL will compare the values of student ID in both the tables. If ID is present in both tables, then that record will be included in the result. If a student ID is present in students table but not in marks table, that record will not be shown. Similarly, if ID exists in marks table but not in students table, that will also be ignored. So inner join will return only those students who have matching student ID in both the tables. So that is why, guys, we say that inner join returns only matching records and ignore non-matching data. Now you can see that the ID column is common in both these tables. So this will be used as a matching column. When we apply inner join, SQL will compare the ID values from both the tables. Let's check it one by one. First, ID 1 is present in students table and it is also present in marks table. So this is a match and it will be included in the result. So I'll write ID is 1 and the name is A and its marks is 90. Next is ID 2, which is also present in marks table. So this is also a match and it will be included in the result. So I'll write ID is 2, its name is B and its marks is 85. Now look at ID 3. It is present in students table but it is not present in marks table. So this is not a match and it will be ignored. Similarly, ID 4 is present in marks table but not in students table. So this will also be ignored. So finally, the result will display only ID 1 and ID 2 because these are the only matching records in both tables. And along with that, we get corresponding name and marks. So guys, this clearly shows that inner join returns only matching data and ignores all non-matching records. Now let's solve a real example using inner join. First, the question is display employee names and their department names. And we have two tables, employees and departments. The employee table contains employee ID, employee name and department ID, and the departments table contains department ID and department name. So here we need data from both the tables because they're asking both employee name as well as department names. So employee name comes from employee table, whereas department name comes from departments table. Now both tables are related using department ID, which is a common column. You can see here, right? So to combine this data, we will use inner join. Now let's write the query step by step. First, we write select and mention the columns we need. So I write select and the columns we need are employee name and department name. So I write employee name, comma, department name. Then we write from employees because this is our first table. So I write from employees. After that, we use inner join and mention the second table, which is department. So inner join departments. Then we use on clause to define the condition. So on. Here we match department ID from both of these tables. So I write employees dot department ID is equal to departments dot department ID, and I end it with semicolon. So guys, this is how we write query. Now let's understand how this query executes. First, SQL takes the employee table, then it takes the departments table. Next, it applies the inner join condition using on clause. It compares department ID from both the tables, and whenever it finds the matching department ID values, it combines those rows. If there is no match, those rows are ignored. Now let's look at the output. Employee name A, B and C have matching department ID values in the department table, that is 10, 20 and 30. So they are included. So I write here, for employee name A, department ID is 10, which is present here. The department name is HR. So I write department name HR. For employee name B, department ID is 20, which is also present here, for which department name is IT. And for employee name C, department ID is 30, which is also present in departments table, for which the department name is sales. So I write here employee name C, so the department name is sales. So guys, here D, which is department number 40, which is not present in departments table. So D is not included in the result. Finally, we get employee names along with their department name only for matching records. This is how inner join works in a real example. Follow for more SQL concepts.